Hey, good morning. I'm Patricia Murphy. It's Friday. This is Seattle Now. This week, the Seattle Opera had its first Furry night. Memorial Day travelers are feeling the strain of high prices, and young male Mariners fans are ripping off their shirts at games. KUOW Community Engagement Director Zaki Hamid and KUOW reporter Casey Martin are here to break down the week. But first, let's get you caught up. We'll start with a warning from the county. Lakes and rivers in the Puget Sound region are extra dangerous right now. County officials say December's flooding created some new drowning hazards. They say flooding moved around logs and rocks that might not be visible above the surface. They're also warning Lake Washington and other bodies of water are still very cold despite the warm weather. King County officials say drowning deaths have been at historically high levels for 7 straight years. Here's a way to get to the trailhead if you don't own a car. Trailhead Direct is back starting this Saturday. King County Metro offers trips from Seattle directly to Mount Si or the Issaquah Alps trailheads. Metro says more than 12,000 people used the service in 2025. That's a 35% increase over the year before. The service runs every weekend through August 30th. And here's another reason to stay in town for Memorial Day weekend. The 55th Annual Northwest Folklife Festival begins today at Seattle Center and runs through Monday. It features music, art, and dance in the folk tradition from all over the world. The event is free to attend, but organizers do encourage donations. Check back for more headlines on tonight's episode of Seattle Now. Here we are, Friday again. Hope you're doing something fun this Memorial Day weekend. Zaki Hamid is here. He's KUOW's Director of Community Engagement and resident total Seattle sports fan. Zaki, twice this week. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too. I love being here.
Casey Martin's here, too. He's a KUOW reporter. Been a minute, Casey. Welcome back.
Thank you, Murph. Happy to be here.
Yeah. All right, you two. Before we dive in, Seattle Opera hosted its first Furry night last week, where some opera patrons donned elaborate animal heads and costumes for the show. There were all kinds of fursonas, foxes, rabbits, donkeys, wolves, and the humans underneath were from an array of professions and walks of life. Wes Smith was there, wrote about it for The Stranger. Have either of you ever worn a fuzzy costume head for anything?
Certainly not for the opera before. And the photos were incredible. They really did.
Really
they look
were.
incredible. You see the epaulets, like the tux tails. I mean, really dressed to the nines. I was a high school mascot for a while, so maybe that counts for a little bit.
Wait, that's right. High school mascot. What was the mascot?
Kangaroo, the fighting kangaroos.
Hey!
What's so funny about a kangaroo? Stop laughing. There's nothing funny about a kangaroo. Nothing is funny about that.
And that sums up Casey's high school.
Take me seriously, Zaki.
I don't know. There's something funny about that. No, but I remember I was in a production of Winter's Tale, and I was actually playing Polixenes, but they also needed somebody to play the bear in intermission when it says exit pursuit by a bear. So I did don a bear suit and ran across the stage. So I did, I guess.
Okay, all right. Well, it was the penultimate night of Carmen's run at the Seattle Opera. The lead who plays Escamillo is part of the furry community and helped organize the opera night. And like you said, Casey, definitely check out the photo in The Stranger of all the furries posing on the stairs. Now, you've already been a kangaroo. You have dressed as a bear. If you were to create a furry persona, what would yours be?
I wouldn't.
Coyote. Easily.
Coyote.
City coyote. I would love to be a city coyote, like hanging around in the Arboretum, going to the opera. I would love to be a city coyote.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
I'd be a shy deer.
Oh.
A shy deer.
Yes, I would. It's no secret that the arts venues in the city are having a harder time these days. Is Furry Night something that would translate well for other venues? Is this start of perhaps a popular theme night for the opera? What's next? Emo night?
Emo night? That could be fun. Maybe not. But did you know that there's so many, like when we think about furries, I always thought of them as this one particular category that includes activities in the bedroom.
Furries are not a monolith.
But they are not.
No.
They are not. There are things called fursuiters. Those are the folks that went to the opera. You know, they like to don their suits. There are other skin, those who believe they aren't human in spirit. And
yes, I've seen them.
So there are different categories of. It's fascinating.
It's very
I learned a lot
nuanced,
today.
very nuanced. And one final note about the logistics of hosting this type of event. It came with an etiquette note reminding furries to remove any headpieces that could obstruct the view for others. Moving on to the big story this week, it's Memorial Day weekend, where we honor our war dead and keep the families who've lost loved ones in our thoughts. It is also the unofficial start of summer. Seattle, no surprise, is a top destination. Pity the poor travelers, though, because it will likely cost you much more this year. Fuel prices are so high, and it's showing up everywhere. How is this impacting your decision to travel this summer or even work?
One, I don't travel during the holidays. I never do.
Sure.
Too much of a hassle for me. And why travel during the holidays when the coolest time in Seattle is during the holidays? Like, there's so much to do around here.
Yeah, this is a cool place to
Yeah. In terms of summer, we don't usually have any big summer plans. But with these gas prices, if we did, I'm not sure we would go. They're like over $6 a gallon.
$6.24 around the corner from my house.
I mean, that's just the highest I've ever seen it.
Yeah. Casey, I know you have a motorcycle.
I was just going to say, if you want to talk about fuel efficiency, hop on two wheels. It is so much fun. I mean, I spend probably like maybe $10 a day when I ride all day on a motorbike, and I love it. It's a lot of fun. Of course, it comes with its own risks. But yeah, to your point, Zaki, I think like Seattle is one of the most beautiful places in the world, and I'm so grateful to live here that with parks and beaches and ferries and the water taxi, I'll be here this weekend. I'll be hanging out. I'll probably ride the light rail to downtown, grab some food, and then go to the waterfront park.
I'll be downtown too.
You know, that's Memorial Day for me. And you're absolutely right. With gas prices what they are, I feel bad for a lot of families that like they look forward to these weekends. They look forward to this Monday off. You know, they count on this time to spend with their families, and it just doesn't make economic sense. It just, you cannot fill up a car less than $100 right now. And I don't know how we expect families to do anything beyond that. So I'm grateful that, you know, I'm here in Seattle. I'll enjoy it.
We're at the destination already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. You know, but the thing is, there's also what airlines are doing. They are attacking extra fees. Now they are charging more per bag, for example. Some airlines are doing that. And we know from experience, once they raise fees, they never go down, even though fuel costs go down. So this is kind of an excuse for these big airlines to just jack up prices.
I think I've hit a vein over here with Zeki.
You really did. You know, they always do. I remember, you know, I mean, do you remember the days before you had to pay for checked bags? And they did that because of fuel. They were like, fuel prices are up, so we got to do that. And they just kept going up higher and higher. And
Still, SeaTac expects nearly 200,000 passengers a day between Friday and Monday. Have either of you tried to book a flight? Are you prepared to pay more for your next flight? Zeki, I know that you like a vacation.
I do, and I'm planning one for February. I'll be paying. I'm a sucker for it. I need my vacation. I need some time away. Yeah, it's not going to deter me. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be pissed about it.
What about you? I know you're a family now.
Yeah, we're definitely planning farther out for sure. It used to be like, 3 to 6 months, and now it's a year away that we're planning on spending, because it is significantly higher. And travel is paramount for us. You know, we love to see the world, but I really do worry about how long fuel prices will stay high and keep climbing, and just how much that will limit people who love to get out and see the world.
Are either of you considering alternatives to travel? What are you doing at home? Like I know you guys are going to stay local, go to Folk Life probably.
Yeah, I mean, this summer, to me, it's the summer of soccer. So there's no better place to be than here. I mean, there's, obviously the World Cup. And
we almost went an entire 30 seconds without mentioning the World Cup.
You're talking to one of the biggest soccer fans in the world over here.
If I say the World Cup is coming to Seattle one
Reset
more
the soccer
freaking time.
clock.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, why would I want to leave?
Right.
I mean, the World Cup, there's Sounders, there's rain games, and I'll also, say, they're Mariners games. I love going. One of the few sports that's still affordable, by the way.
That's right, even though they're not doing so great. We'll talk about
Maybe that's
that
why.
in a little bit. If you are traveling locally, please make sure to get your ferry reservations in order. If you're driving, man, pack your patience, as they say. It's going to be crowded on the roads. It is hard to imagine worse traffic conditions than what we've been experiencing recently around the city with repairs and road maintenance, though most of that will be paused for the weekend.
Thank God we have public transportation, right?
My goodness, yes. Light rail is going to be awesome, and buses will probably be packed. When you two are in the car, are you a passenger or a driver?
I'm always the driver.
Me too.
I'm a driver even when I'm a passenger. I do a lot of passenger driving. My wife will attest to this. I'm the worst person to be in the car with. I tend to do most of the driving.
Yeah, me too.
Trying to shut up in the backseat.
And like you, man, it gets testy in my vehicle on longer trips. My husband and I have super different driving styles.
You know, I've developed a new persona, and it's called Zen Zeki. I really did. Now, all of a sudden, I can be in the car, and I was like, I'm not going to get it's a choice that I'm making. I'm not going to get upset about traffic, all of that. I'm just going to be very zen about it all. And nobody loves that more than my wife. So
that's funny. I go the opposite. I go Mad Max Martin. And I think I'm on Fury Road with everybody else on I-5.
I have gotten much more chill in my old age, and it is often much better if my husband falls asleep.
Melatonin.
Moving on to our next topic. Let's talk about Tuesday's Mariners game. And not the game itself, because I hear from Seattle Now sources it did not go so well. The M's only got one hit the entire game. That did not deter a group of mostly young male fans in the nosebleeds from keeping the spirit alive by stripping off their shirts and twirling them overhead. It started with just a handful, but quickly spread, filling up several sections of the 300 level of T-Mobile Park. Have either of you seen the videos?
Oh, yeah.
I was watching on TV.
It's hard to avoid the videos. I mean, social media is just a lot of shirtless dudes at ball games.
Yeah.
You know,
oh, my gosh.
No complaints necessarily, but it's all over, and it's very funny to see that it's spread as fast as it has.
It was quick.
Really quick. Yeah. I'm kind of surprised that Seattle got on this so quickly.
More reserved.
Very much
so.
They
were also chanting F the Astros.
Yeah.
Which
I fully endorse. That's fine.
Fantastic.
No, that's great. That's really good.
You know what? All of a sudden, I changed my mind about these guys. I was just going to go off of how dumb this is, but I'm like, hey.
On second thought.
This is a trend, though, across the MLB, apparently, that started in St. Louis at Busch Stadium as the Cardinals took the series against the Kansas City Royals. What are we looking at here? Is there some deeper meaning behind these shirtless guys? Is this part of the solution to male loneliness?
Not nearly enough tattoos, I'll say that. I'm seeing a lot of bare, hairless chests.
Yeah, but I Casey, you're a white dude. Maybe you can explain this to me.
I'll try my best. Speaking for the whites, I'll try my best.
What is it with these boys taking their shirts off? I don't understand it.
There's also a comedian who, that's his whole thing. He takes his shirt off, you know? Yeah, that's the thing. He wanders around without a shirt.
Very primal.
It's very primal. I've never had that urge, especially like in public. Like the idea of being out at a baseball game and like taking off clothing just sounds horrible to me and so uncomfortable. But to watch these guys run up and like wave their shirts over their heads, like, I guess. But to do it on a night that we lost badly, that's rough. Because then you got to like put the shirt on awkwardly and then quietly go home, you know? Like, that's not fun at all.
When I first heard about this, all I could think of was I used to work in New Hampshire, and there was a motorcycle rally up in Laconia every year, and all the women, like a lot of the women, the biker chicks, would be like flashing and stuff, and I'm like, is this like Laconia? Is this like a spin on Laconia? Yes. Anyway, whoa. Other questions I have for the Mariners. Will the Mariner Moose partake in this? And what about the salmon?
Yeah.
They have to strip all the way.
Yeah.
They don't have a top.
I would see that. Yeah, I could see that up there.
There's a lot to take off there with the salmon.
Yeah, Silver Salmon's got the laptop, and Humpy, he's got like the water wings.
They have accoutrements. It's a lot.
It's not just a T-shirt.
It's a lot to carry.
It's a lot more.
You know, I saw somebody dressed as Humpy at the game.
Oh, really?
That was fantastic.
Really?
He had the whole costume on, and he had the floaty and everything. It was,
that was Humpy. You saw Humpy.
And I was wondering why he was running on the field.
Well, eccentric fans are definitely a thing and part of the fun. And Casey, you even interviewed Broccoli Guy, the Mariners fan character who dances clutching stalks of broccoli.
Yeah.
What motivates these people?
You know, what goes through these people's minds? You know, what I really love is that people, especially, speaking of Broccoli Guy, he's a wonderful guy, is the sense of positivity. You know, sports can be they can be very negative. You know, people can get, kind of, worked up, I think, about a losing team or maybe, hating a rival team or something. And so to kind of have this silliness, to kind of have this kind of lighthearted nature, some people have referred, to this as like a shtick or a gimmick. Mm-hmm. But I think ultimately, if it makes you smile and if it makes you laugh, there's no harm in it.
All part of the fun.
Yep.
All part of the fun.
Is Broccoli Guy still going to games this
Oh,
year? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And as far as I know, sure did. As far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Who
check in on
knows?
that.
He could be caught up in the wave.
Yeah, it might just be him and Broccoli up there. We don't know.
Moving on to our next story. Here is a story that activated our taste buds this week. Seattle Times food team was going through an old filing cabinet in the newsroom and found 20,000 old recipes, some of them dating back to the 1930s. They'd been collected over the years when the Seattle Times had a test kitchen and made recipes that were published in the newspaper. How cool is that? The newspaper.
Yay, journalism.
One was a Depression-era bean loaf. Sounds tasty. Another recipe was for Merry Beef roll-ups from 1968. The food team took it upon themselves to recreate some of these recipes. They described the Merry Beef roll-ups as overly salty and leathery with sad potatoes and carrots stuffed inside. Okay. Some of these dishes have been lost to history for a reason, I guess. What's a dish from your childhood that you'd like to never see, eat, or even smell again?
Do you remember those frozen fish sticks? Those
I
Gorton
do.
fish
Yeah, yeah,
sticks?
yeah.
Oh, man, I always thought those were tough. Those were a tough meal.
Oh, man.
They're like cakey, kind of greasy, and I don't know.
You have no idea that those are coming back into your life in about 4 years. This is what he says today.
It's either that or mac and cheese.
Yeah.
That's right.
Lukewarm mac and cheese, yeah.
Dino bites. Oh, my gosh. What about you, Zaki?
No, I grew up in Jordan, and growing up in an Arab family, I'm very lucky that there's seriously not a single dish that I never want to taste again. We had good food all the time.
Wow.
Including, like, I remember this meal, it was like sheep intestines.
Ooh.
It's stuffed, with like
haggis.
rice.
Is that
and
haggis?
I guess
like haggis.
Yeah, but it was so good. I mean, they made everything taste good. So, yeah, there's nothing from my childhood that I never want to taste again. I'm actually like making recipes now of like remembering all these things and looking for different recipes and making them. Yeah.
My biggest letdown as a child was when my mother would put hot dogs in my mac and cheese because it would just wreck the whole thing for me. Because mac and cheese was great for me. Hot dogs were great, but you put them together and it was just an assault,
you don't like
man.
that?
No.
That's the thing. I
To
like
this
the
day.
salt. That little like burst of salt. I dig it.
Well, the Seattle Times test kitchen went away in the 2000s due to the internets. And the Seattle Times food reporters found these old recipes because the newspaper's actually moving this summer and they didn't have space for the giant metal filing cabinet. Why is the Seattle Times always moving? This is the third move.
Because their offices are filled with 2,000-year-old recipes. Yeah. They don't have any more room
Have you
left.
seen these rents prices?
Also, all recipes start with that like long paragraph of the intro of like,
That's true.
this is what led me to the recipe. You know what I mean? Like, think of that's a lot of paperwork. Yeah.
Well, there was an actual person who was clipping these out and like pasting them onto note cards, like a card catalog file of recipes. Wild that was somebody's job back then. One last thing before we go. It was a good week to head to the beach. The tides were very low, especially on Monday, about 4 feet more than usual. Alki, Carkeek, Golden Gardens were all prime spots to check out tide pools. Low tides reveal some of the critters who hang out in the nooks and crannies of our shores. Sea stars, rock crabs, sea cucumbers, octopus are among some of the things you can check out.
The photos are always so beautiful, and I love just seeing people out there. Like it's a communal event, and it's just also a part of, I think, living in the Pacific Northwest. It's just kind of living here and going to a low tide with flashlights, and everyone's really careful not to step on anything, which I really appreciate. And watching little kids get really excited out there, I just love that. I think it's a really cool part of growing up here.
Yeah, we live in such a gorgeous place. We really do. I love the water. I don't go as often as I should. And I don't know why, because I just love everything associated with the water. The smell of it, just the sight of it. It just makes me feel so good. And maybe when's the next low tide? June?
The next one's in June. The
All
next
right, there we
one's
go.
coming in June. Now, some people get really intense with their gear. Zip-off pants, rash guard, SPF hats. We have a nerdy vibe, but we don't mess with the sun.
Yeah, it's kind of like the it's kind of like the cyclists. You know what I mean? You have
Yeah.
cyclists here in Seattle with all this gear. They look like they're in a professional race. I'm like, geez, you're just going to work. Like, give it a
You got to have the gear. You got to have
I
the gear.
guess so.
It's a real treat to live here. You can't take this for granted. Really, don't take this for granted. Get out there in June if you didn't catch this week's -4 tide. We are going to leave it there. Casey Martin, a reporter at KUOW, Zaki Hamid on the payroll now for Seattle Now at this point. KUOW's Director of Community Engagement. Thanks, Zaki.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Casey.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you listening to Seattle Now, and thanks to our generous donors for your support. Do us a solid and take a moment to rate and review the show on your favorite podcast app. You can do it as your fursona or shirtless. We don't even mind. Today's episode was a team production by Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers, Andy Hurst, and Caroline Chamberlain Gomez. Andy also edited this episode. Our production team also includes Vaughn Jones and Paige Browning. Greg Kramer does our theme music. Seattle Now and KUOW Public Radio are members of the NPR network. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you tonight for Evening Headlines.